DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com, balloverseas.com. I want to talk about 4 elements that any basketball player is going to need to play professional basketball that go beyond your skills. So outside of shoot, dribble, pass, rebound, all of that, what are you going to need to actually succeed playing professional basketball? And these are all mental game tools. And these 4 tools I'm going to share with you are all part of the framework of my whole brand and philosophy that's called Work on Your Game. If you didn't know, one of the things that I do outside of, when I stopped playing basketball, I went into full-time entrepreneurship that I was already in while I was still playing, was just taking the mental game tools that you need to succeed in sports and teaching how to apply those tools in your life or in your business, and of course, as an athlete. So the first tool you're gonna need is discipline. Everybody knows what the word discipline, everybody got a general idea of what it means, right? Discipline for me means showing up every single day and doing your job. There's a lot of other ways you can describe it, but that's the gist of what discipline is. And in professional sports, you're gonna need discipline because even though when I'm talking about it and I'm telling people about it, I say, look, it is the best job you could possibly have. I still believe that to this day. I've been an entrepreneur full-time since 2015, been an entrepreneur overall since 2010. Professional basketball was and still is and probably will always be the best line of work that I've ever been in. Being a professional athlete was a better job than being an entrepreneur is right now. And the reason I say that is not because I don't like entrepreneurship. I love it. I wake up every single day excited to go to work, and when I finish work, I know there's a lot more stuff that I could be doing. I would just stay up forever and work if human beings didn't need to sleep. But professional basketball was more fun than entrepreneurship for only one reason, and as a basketball player, you can only work. The most you're gonna work in a whole day as an athlete is like 4 hours. That's pretty much the most you can give. Because even if you think I know you heard the stories that Kobe worked this many hours, Kobe worked out 10 hours a day or whatever it is that you heard. I know professional trainers who have told me, listen, science has shown that if somebody's going hard, going at 100% of their output, or let's say 90% of your physical capability, you can only train for about 75 minutes before you do not have the capacity to keep going at that level. So can you spend 8 hours a day on a court? Sure, but what are you doing for that 8 hours? And anyway, when you're playing professional basketball, forget all that. No practice is going to be 8 hours long. All right, your practice is going to be an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if it's preseason. If you got a game, the game takes about 2 hours. Maybe if you got a road game, then you got to travel there, you got to travel back. But your actual work time, that you are actually doing work of playing basketball as a professional athlete, we could talk the training, the conditioning, basketball playing, at the most you're working 4 hours a day. Everybody else in the world who has a full-time job is working at least 8 hours a day, right? So you got a whole lot of downtime on your hands being a professional athlete. However, here's what you got to understand. Even though you're only working 1 to 4 hours a day, and most days it ain't even going to be 4 hours, you're not always going to feel like working. You're not always going to feel like hearing your coach. And especially playing overseas where the rotations can get wonky. Things don't always go the way that you think they're going to go. You might be the best player on the team, but you're playing the 4th most minutes of anybody on the team. You're not even getting the 6th most shot attempts, even though you're clearly the best scorer on the roster, and you're wondering what the hell is going on. That can and has happened overseas, and somebody who's watching this is going to happen to you, or listening to this is going to happen to you when you play overseas. You're going to be on the team, you're clearly the best player, but you're not playing in most minutes. You're clearly the best scorer, but you're not getting the most shots. All right, the team will be doing a lot better if you played more, but you're coming off the bench, and you don't know what to do about it. You can't do anything about it. You can't complain because you might get fired. You can't talk to the coaches. They don't speak English. Ain't nothing you can do. And you just got to be happy with that situation. This is going to happen, and you must be disciplined enough to continue to show up and do your job the way that you're expected to do your job, even though everything is looking kind of like what the hell? This ain't making no sense. All right, that's part of your job as a professional. And every one of these elements I'm going to share with you here go under the umbrella of professionalism. I've heard people use that phrase, professionalism. This is what I'm explaining to you here. Discipline, showing up every day, doing your job, even when the job ain't making sense to you. Number 2, you need confidence. Now, of course, I'm going to assume if you're watching this video or you're already playing overseas or you plan on it, then you already got the game to be playing professional basketball. Or you already have skill, you already been putting the work in, you already been putting the time in and all of that. So I'm assuming that you have skills. So what separates the skilled player who shows out in the game from the skilled player who is frustrated with themselves because they never show out in the game is confidence, is the way that you see yourself, is your level of self-belief, especially after you had a bad game, especially after the games when things didn't go quite so right, especially when you're not getting a whole lot of playing time and the coach puts you in the game, halfway through the second quarter, you just now getting in the game, the team's down by 25, and you're supposed to help the team come back. Because I've been in that situation. Do you have the confidence to put all of that aside, the fact that you're looking at the coach crazy, like, yo, what are you doing? Coach not putting me in the game yet. And the fact that you still got to do your job. That all goes back to confidence. Or if you had a terrible game last week and your team only plays a game once a week, and everybody in town is looking at you like, damn, that American had a terrible game last week. Why is he or she still on the roster? Can you still show up and do what you're supposed to do? Can you be mentally ready to be that guy or that girl, even though you might only get 4-minute spurts of playing time because the coach is jerking around the playing time for no apparent reason that makes any type of logical sense, but you still got to do it because it's your job. And again, you can't complain about it, because if you complain, you probably wouldn't have the job anymore. Confidence, putting yourself out there boldly and authentically on a consistent basis. The third one, mental toughness. Mental toughness is your willingness to keep showing up and doing your job and continue to believe in yourself and continue to be disciplined, even though believing in yourself and being disciplined and showing up and doing your job didn't work last time. That's what mental toughness means. Continuing to do what you're supposed to do. This is like if you're on a team, and let's say you're on a team and the team's not doing too well. All right? And if you play long enough, you're going to join the team that may already be trash when you get there. Maybe the team is trash during the season while you're playing, despite your best efforts. Who knows? Maybe the coach is terrible. Maybe your teammates are just not that talented. The team just not doing that good. Maybe the team doesn't have a big budget, so they can't hire any players who can actually play. And you got to be a part of that. Are you still showing up and working hard in practice? Are you still positive at halftime of every game? Your team's down 25 every game, even to a trashy team. Are you still pushing your teammates to get better? Are you still being the leader that they signed you to be? They signed you to a contract, especially you American players. When you sign to play ball overseas, I don't care how many Americans are on the team, you're expected to assume a leadership role simply by the fact of you being an American. They're expecting you to be a person who can kind of uplift everybody else just by your very presence, because you're an American. Basketball is an American sport. We own the sport of basketball. So you being an American and them not being Americans, wherever you're playing at, they're expecting you to be a person who's going to lift up everybody else's spirit, lift up everybody's game, lift everybody's mindset, all of that, just because you're the American on the roster. Are you willing to do that? And are you capable of doing that even when you're on a team that's trashy and losing and nothing seems to be going right for you in the season? That's going to be expected of you. And if you fail in doing that, you can find yourself out of a job. That is the mental toughness factor of being a professional. Under this whole umbrella of professionalism, you need to bring that every single day. And if we could also add mental toughness. Actually, I'll go to that at the end. The last one is personal initiative. Personal initiative is your willingness to, how many of you outside of your team's practices and training, you do your own practice and training? Now, I'm going to assume, again, if you're watching this video, I'm talking about playing ball overseas, I'm going to assume that that's a given. I'm going to assume that you're already doing that, because if you're not doing that, then why are you even thinking about playing professional basketball? You're trying to get into the top 1% of basketball players in the world, and you're not doing any extra work, you're not putting in any extra time. Are you serious? And you really think you're going to become a pro basketball player? That makes no sense. It just doesn't add up. So I'm going to assume that you're already doing that, okay? You're going to need to do that even on whatever team you sign with, whatever league you go playing. You need to be putting in that extra time and putting in that extra work. And the team is going to be expecting it of you. They're not going to tell you, but they're going to be watching you to see, are you putting in that extra time? Are you putting in that extra work? Are you doing the work that is not being required of you because of your level of professionalism? That's personal initiative. Are you going in, talking up your teammates and keeping everybody positive? Let's say one of your teammates just had a bad game and the coach trashed them in front of the whole team in a locker room. Are you the one who goes over to that teammate and picks them up and makes them feel better about it after the coach just trashed them and they know they had a terrible game? They know everybody in town is like, damn, this dude just cost us the game, or this girl just cost us the game because they was 1 for 8 from the floor last night. Are you the one who takes initiative to go and talk that person up and keep everybody positive? Are you the one who's the first one on the court every day at practice? Are you the one who is leading all the drills? Are you the one leading the stretches? Are you the person who is the first one to say, hey, everybody, let's step it up on defense so we can get a stop and we can finish this game because there's only 3 minutes left? Taking that initiative, this is all part of your professionalism, and it's going to be expected of you. And these are kind of unwritten rules, folks. So if you're listening to this, understand nobody's going to come to you and tell you that you need to be doing this. These are things that you're going to have to know to do just because I'm telling you right now. So you show up with all of this equipment already in place. And on the other side, if you don't have a job yet, you still need to enact all of these principles that I'm talking about of professionalism even before you become a professional. I tell people this all the time. Like, you want to be a professional or something, you got to act like a pro even before you become a pro, even before you getting paid, even before you got a job. So for discipline, are you showing up and working on your game every day even when you're unsigned? Confidence, are you still believing that you will make an opportunity happen for yourself even though it hasn't happened yet? Mental toughness, are you staying disciplined and doing your job and showing up every day working on your game, even if it's by yourself or with your trainer or whatever you're doing, even though you like, man, I don't know if this deal is ever gonna happen because I've been trying for a year or 2 years or a year and a half, and I've been to this couple camps and nothing has popped off yet, and I've been talking to my agent and my agent ain't hitting me with nothing yet. Can you still stay mentally focused on where you want to go even though the picture looks kind of cloudy right now? And personal initiative, are you taking actions to better your chances of creating an opportunity for yourself despite the fact that the opportunity hasn't happened yet, despite the fact that nothing is quite working just yet, despite the fact that you're seeing other people have it happen for them but it's not happening for you? Are you allowing that to get you in despair and make you get down on yourself and put your head down and think that it's never going to work? Or are you saying, all right, it worked for them, so that means there's more opportunity for it to work for me, and giving yourself reasons to stay positive? All of this is part of the professionalism equation, and you're going to need this if you're going to play basketball at the professional level, not only to get there, but also to stay there. And you can take everything that I'm talking about here, and you could apply this to the professional level of anything. You will need these things to get into the game and to stay in the game. So make sure you check yourself. These are 4 elements, again, that you're going to need to bring to the table as a professional basketball player overseas that go beyond your ability to shoot and dribble the ball. Discipline, confidence, mental toughness, and personal initiative. If you lack any one of these, it can end up costing you your job. Not only your job, but could cost you your entire career if you don't recognize it and fix it as quickly as possible. If you haven't gotten those free downloads, balloverseas.com/46 for the free PDF download straight to your phone right now, and balloverseas.com to get the free book, The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. I'll send it straight to your doorstep wherever you live. The book is already paid for. All you do is take care of the shipping. Y'all know where to get it. It's right down in the description. Work on your game. Dre all day.